All right, we're going to call the Eaton County Commissioner Board. Oh, thank you. To order, we raise for invocation, Commissioner DeRosa.
Let's all bow our heads. Our Father God, we come to you with thanksgiving and praise, Lord. Father, clear our minds tonight. Help us to glorify you in the things we do and say. Lord, we need your guidance in these issues for the county. We pray that we are worthy of that calling. Lord, be with us now as we go forth, and we lift this all up in Jesus' precious name. Amen. I'll rise for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Barnes.
Here.
Commissioner Mulder.
Here.
Commissioner Augustine.
Here.
Commissioner Haskell.
Here.
Commissioner Pearl-Wright. Here. Commissioner Youngquist. Commissioner Moudry.
Here.
Commissioner Brayler.
Here.
Commissioner Drosha.
Here.
Commissioner Toomey.
Here.
Commissioner Hanson.
Here.
Commissioner Latzenheiser.
Here.
Commissioner Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers. Here. Chairman Mott.
Here. All right, next up, we have agenda additions or changes. Are there any?
No.
Moved by Commissioner Latzenheiser, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the minutes. Moved by Commissioner Latzenheiser, supported by Commissioner Rogers. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have our first of two communication, oh no, that's public comment. Next up, we have communications. First of all, we have a couple. We have a Washtenaw County resolution opposing Livingston County policy to monitor and document contacts between undocumented immigrants and the Livingston County Sheriff's Office. The next resolution we have is a resolution declaring Wexford County is not a sanctuary county for illegal immigration. Next up, we are to retirement recognition resolution. And this one is a resolution of appreciation for Nabil Kanazi. I think I got it right. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. Do we have a motion to move the
Support.
Who moved it? Commissioner Latzenheiser, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. All right. Nabil, if you join me at the podium. Good. All right, the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, a resolution of appreciation for Nabil Kanazi. Kanazi. Okay, thank you. Whereas Nabil Kanazi will retire from the Eaton County on November 1st, 2024, and whereas Nabil worked in the sheriff's office as a sheriff's deputy from November 1st, 1999, and is retiring with 25 years of service. And whereas Nabil has provided dedicated and honorable service to the residents and employees of Eaton County, and whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners seeks to recognize and express appreciation for Nabil's years of public service. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners expresses its sincere gratitude for the years of exceptional service Nabil provided to Eaton County. And be it further resolved that this resolution of appreciation and support be duly recorded and attached to the permanent records of the county on this 16th day of the month of October in the year 2024. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Go ahead. Sure. Thank you. Kind of put me on a spot. Say something. Wasn't prepared for this. First, like to thank everyone here. Have my family and full entourage here come support me.
It's been a pleasure working here at Eaton County, helping out the citizens and everyone else. It's been a fun career. I got to meet a lot of people, got to make a lot of friends and friends that are family as well. Can't trade that for anything. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next up, we have limited public comment. If anyone would like to address the board, please approach the podium, and if you can keep it to 3 minutes or under, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Appreciate you giving me the time to speak here. I'll be hopefully short. I'm a local resident, moved here about 3 years ago, love the area. Moved here from the Detroit area, and everything's been just great up until about a year ago. I live on the corner of Billwood and Royston. My address is 6010 Billwood Highway. And for the last year or so, I've had a ton of gravel come into my yard, and called the road commission to come and try to resolve the issue. They came out last year, dug it all out, reseeded it, made it look great. I won't knock them on that, but I told them it's gonna happen again, and it's a waste of taxpayer money for you guys to keep coming out here and putting a Band-Aid on the issue when we need to fix it permanently. And so it took me quite a while to get a hold of the foreman, Matt Hannes, or whatever his name is. Finally got a hold of him, wasn't getting the answers I wanted, so I went to a meeting, I think end of September. And honestly, they were completely useless. Didn't help me at all. And they told me that I needed to put a culvert through my 2 driveways. I said, if a culvert doesn't work, what can I do? Didn't really have a solution for that. And I said, I'm trying to improve my land, make it look better for the community. I'm right on the corner, have a ton of cars pass me by. And I said, honestly, I said, most of that is my property, and I feel like I have the right to do what I want with it. And that upset Matt, I guess, and he made the statement that he could come in 66 feet into my property and kind of do as he pleases, which I didn't appreciate. I told him, I said, I will have companies come out and give me their opinion, whether the culverts will fix it or not. I had 2 companies come out. Both of them said a culvert would be completely useless and a waste of time and money. Sent that to Matt. Haven't heard back from him, so trying to, guess, come to you guys and figure out a solution. I don't know what else to do. I've tried to be a good citizen, but my patience is spent at this point. I pay my taxes, I vote, I'm a good citizen. I try not to cause a fuss, but when it comes to these kind of issues, and I don't feel like I'm being heard, not really sure what else I should do. So that's what I have for you. Don't know what else I can do or say, but figured I'd come to you guys and let you guys hash it out. I tried to contact the drain commissioner. Finally heard back, I guess, from his secretary yesterday. And I know he's up for re-election, so I'm sure he's out trying to get votes. And if he wants to put a ditch in, that's fine. I don't care what the solution is. I just need a solution so that I don't keep having this issue. So appreciate your time, and I'll let you guys discuss it amongst yourself.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to let you guys know that next Tuesday, October 22nd, we're having our contractors breakfast. It's at 8:30 in the morning. It will be at Hidden Creek Farms out on Vermontville Highway. You are all invited. The only thing that I ask is that before the end of the day tomorrow, you would call or email Brandy, just so we have a head count. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Anyone else?
Good evening, Commissioners and residents of Eaton County, and in particular, the residents of the 10th District. My name is Jim Ruff, and I'm the Republican candidate for Commissioner for the 10th District. The 10th District includes most of Windsor Township and the northern third of Benton Township. Voting is the most important tool we have as citizens to express our desires as to who represents us and how we want our representatives to accomplish our goals. Recently, Commissioner Toomey and I had the privilege of speaking in an open forum hosted by for the Village of Dimondale at the First Presbyterian Church to give the public an opportunity to meet and hear from the most local of candidates. There was a nice turnout, which was good. I had the privilege of introducing myself and my wife and to share some of my background as well as my desire to represent the citizens of the district for the commission. Commissioner Toomey also shared his comments, then was asked some questions. From his comments, from his answers to those questions, and a cursory review of his 4-year political career, I have come to some concerning conclusions. I want to ask the remaining voters of the 10th District what conclusions they may draw from this information. I ask them to answer with their votes. First, Mr. Toomey had been elected to be a village trustee in 2020. Begs the question, why did Mr. Toomey abandon that office before his 4-year term with the village was completed and opt to run for his current seat? Then, in the Meet the Candidate Forum, he purported that all of his actions as commissioner received bipartisan, unanimous support. Why did he not tell the audience that one of his first truly individual acts as a commissioner was to propose a resolution that was defeated by the majority of the commission? Further, at the Meet the Candidate Forum, Commissioner Toomey purported that he had supported the sheriff with every applicable vote. Why did he not tell the audience he was absent for the vote on the budget for this fiscal year, which included Sheriff Department funding? Also, why did he not tell the audience about being passionately rebuked by Sheriff Reich for what in all appearances was Commissioner Toomey's subversion of the responsibilities of the sheriff's office? Apparently, this was resolved since he said the sheriff endorsed him for his reelection. Finally, at the Meet the Candidate Forum, Commissioner Toomey was asked by an attendee why he had never attended even one of Benton Township's regular board meetings during his term as commissioner. Instead of publicly acknowledging this or apologizing, his response was first to ask the person if they lived in the 10th District. Then Commissioner Toomey blamed his calendar and his busy schedule and said he would address it personally afterward. As I heard this exchange, it helped me answer.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. This has been past 3 minutes.
I'm keeping track.
All right.
I'm sorry?
You've got about 15 seconds, Jim.
Okay. Did Commissioner Toomey know when Benton Township's regular meetings took place? Did Commissioner Toomey know that what conflicts he had with these dates the last 2 years? Did Commissioner Toomey even know that it was the supervisor of Benton Township that had asked him the question? Further, is representing the citizens of the 12 square miles of Benton Township important to Commissioner Toomey? And last, and is his relationship with the Township Board important to Commissioner Toomey?
Okay.
Is my time up?
Time is up, Jim.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Anyone else want to approach the board? All right, moving on. Next up, we have committee reports and resolutions. First up, we have Health and Human Services Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have no action items. We had a great update from Sarah Lurie at CMH, and we did have a discussion on the juvenile millage in regards to us reserving our funding for internal programs with the expansion of the juvenile millage. So again, it was a good meeting, again, but no action items, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner DeRosa. Next.
Hello?
I'm
Hello?
Lotzenheiser. Sorry.
They look so much.
You're both Brians. My apologies. All right, next up, we have Public Safety with Commissioner Barnes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Public Safety met on October 3rd, 2024, and we have 2 action items. Number 1 is resolution to approve the Edward Bryan Memorial Bureau of Justice grant application. This is the U.S. Department of Justice offers federal grant to enforce local laws and improve function of the criminal justice system. This is something we applied for in the past. Funding helps fund overtime for enforcement and education I think it came to 11,729. There is no match, and I'd like to move it.
Moved by Commissioner Barnes, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. All those, any public, or any comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Second one is resolution to authorize application for additional local prosecutor support from the state of Michigan, appropriated funds for additional local county prosecutor to East Eaton County Prosecutor's Office. Grant funds from October 1st of -- through September 30th of '25. There is no match with this. This allows for retention and recruitment of qualified staff, amount not to exceed $250,000. We have applied in the past, and I would move it.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Barnes, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, lastly, I'd like to thank Doug Lloyd from the Eaton County Prosecutor's Office, Tom Reich and his deputies from the Eaton County Sheriff's Office for their help in attending the limited tax proposal meetings in the villages and townships. So thank you very much for their support. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Barnes. Next up, we have Information Technology and Communications Committee with Commissioner DeRosa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the recognition. Yes.
Which Commissioner DeRosa?
Yes, Information Technology and Communications Committee met on Wednesday, October 2nd. And while we have no action items, we did have some reports in our Communication Director Bailey's absence. Controller Sobey gave a report for the communication directors. She noted communication had gone out regarding the tax proposal and reported that there's been approximately 40 meetings, information meetings throughout the county for that information, and I believe we have more to come. Is that correct?
We actually just finished this morning.
Okay, we conclude.
Unless somebody else wants to have us come in, we would be more than happy to do that.
All right, thank you very much. And we also, just this evening, had a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the youth facility, right to the north side of our campus here. Eric Daly, Director of Technology Services, gave his department's monthly report, and we have a new program, Civic Clerk, which the public will not see, but we all use, and it's a learning curve.
They're seeing it. They are online.
But we're doing well. Oh, okay, all right. They won't use it like we do. And we also gave a report on the state's BEAD program, which is Broadband Equity Access and Deployment, and that's going to provide universal accessibility of high-speed internet to everyone in Eaton County. So they're working on that. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner DeRosa. Next up, we have Public Works and Planning Committee with Commissioner Barbara Rogers.
Thank you. We met on, when we met, we had a resource recovery, gave us an update on 2 waste haulers who have become compliant with the Eaton County Solid Waste Ordinance, and Parks and Recreation Construction Code and Planning and Zoning were also present to give a report. We had one action item. It was that was presented. It's DCA 1024-5, which is a text amendment to the ordinance presented by the Planning Commission, and I move that we adopt DCA 1024-5.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Rogers, supported by Commissioner Augustine. Any questions or comments? It's a rough night.
And one more item is.
We got to pass it, yeah, we got to vote.
Oh, I thought you said. All right,
All those in favor?
aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, now, thank you. On this new action item that we took today, I've already forewarned Brandy. Yes, she's present and she'll answer any questions or concerns you have about it. That completes my report.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Rogers. And next up, we have Ways and Means with Commissioner Mulder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met, and it was the first couple weeks after the new budget, so there was not a lot of action to do, which was good. Stuff's just getting going. Now, I do have a budget resolution, and it's to replace a broken microfiche. I thought microfiche was out in the 70s, but apparently we're still using it. Microfilm.
Doesn't it say microphone?
Jeez, Blake.
Okay. I was misinformed. It was not film.
Microfilm on it, didn't it? Yeah. Isn't that what the resolution says?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
microphone.
Okay, and I would move it.
I'm not taking the hit on that
Put
one.
it out of my mouth.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Haskell. I was already over here. Any comments, questions? Okay.
Anything more to add?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And I would move the claims and purchases.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Now, Mr. Chairman, as we discussed, the next meeting of Ways and Means is scheduled for Friday, November the 15th. And this will be after the election, and there will be a lot of things to discuss that need some immediate attention. And talking with the chairman and with the administrative staff, I would like to move that Ways and Means meeting to a week earlier, which is going to be November the 8th, Friday. 9 o'clock, November the 8th on Friday. So that's just a notice. If we need to have further discussion, we'll keep the 15th open for possible work. But the regular meeting, I'm putting the pressure on the staff because they have to get the reports around and get a lot around, but we will have just completed the election and we'll probably have some things to discuss, so.
We will get it posted.
Okay.
Notice sent out.
Any comments?
Only that for those of you that are like me and have not adjusted your schedule yet, as this would be the second Friday, so this is one of those weird Fridays anyways, it might already be in your calendar on the 8th, like it was on mine, so. Yeah. You do, Ben?
Come on, Ben.
Calendar invite, it's bad.
Put a calendar invite out there, Ben.
Inside joke, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mulder.
Fix up my calendar.
Next up, we have the Administrator's Report with Controller Sobey.
Indulge me for a few minutes here. As Commissioner DeRosa mentioned, we have been across the county over the last few months talking to residents and officials to get the word out about the ballot proposal. It's been a labor. We have great elected officials that have been there for us. Prosecutor Lloyd and the sheriff have been there. Chairman Mott has been there pretty much to every meeting. Actually, I think I need to correct something. I think Prosecutor Lloyd only missed one meeting. I say that and call him out because he yelled at me last month for saying that he missed a couple. So I would just want to talk about the last few months and actually years have been really difficult for the county, for staff, for you as elected officials, and the public wondering what's going to happen. Some media coverage has exaggerated the fears, putting concern and question into the county's reality. I wanted to say just one thing to making those claims that are not true. This is real. This is not a joke. This is not some made-up crisis. It's real, and I think everyone needs to understand that. I want to mention our employees and the work that they continue to do and how they're staying with the county during this uneasy time. Ben and I met with the sheriff, his sheriff command group and non-supervisory union groups to discuss their layoff provisions. I would say that was probably one of the most difficult meetings we've had thus far. Sheriff could say that too. It was pretty trying sitting there and looking at these individuals and having them wonder what's next, what's coming next. So again, it's real. The decisions that we discussed and the decisions that this board will make will impact all of our employees, every office. And those individuals, because we discuss public safety, know that the hits will come first. What I tried to do to them, or for them, was to convey what our recommendation as staff would be for them to carry them through to a longer period of time, because we have adopted this budget going through September 30, 25, to give them some security in where we're heading. But we all know that if something does not happen, that it secures more revenue, that those cuts realistically should come before September 30, 25. These haven't been easy conversations, easy plans to make, but they're necessary. I think Ben here, we spent an awful lot of time in our office going through a lot, right? And Melissa Ballard and Claudine and Logan, and we sit and we go through all of this, and I want you to know that we're working as hard as we possibly can to get all the information we can to the people. My job, I feel, obviously, and what you pay me to do, is to prepare this government for every outcome. That's what we're doing on a daily basis. I need the employees that are working here to know that we're working for them. We're working for the residents, because those employees are the ones that serve the residents. These coming months are going to be difficult, and they'll be difficult, I want you to all know, regardless of the outcome. Because if there's no additional revenue, that's a discussion, and a really difficult discussion. If there is additional revenue, that's when the work begins on what you're going to do. That's the framework that we set forward, where you're focusing on employees, retention, recruitment, stability for the county going forward. That's going to mean policies and building frameworks so that future boards can make decisions. We all know we're going to have 6 new board members for sure, with 6 of you leaving. And it's going to be a difficult time for all the new members of the board. It's going to be difficult. I met with Technology Services Director Eric Daly on Monday. Whew, was that tough. Eric's looking at me. I said, this is perfectly confidential. There is nothing that's leaving here. It's all on the table. And it was just the 2 of us. It was a real conversation. We're looking to decide what to cut. Well, there isn't a lot to cut. Everything that we have done has been something that we had to allocate, excuse me, to continue services. We're not adding things. Anything that's added is, you know, a little 1,000 here, 1,000 there. It's not what's going to provide security and structure for this county. What I want you to understand as a board is that the value that you have in Eric Daly and his staff, and I hope they're listening, is beyond. They put in not 8 to 5, they are 24/7. And all of our police agencies, fire, ambulance, central dispatch, they rely on them every day. And a lot of those people are overworked. They are understaffed. We all know that. You all know that. And that's with every office. So I'm not saying other offices are not. I'm focusing right now on what we need, that support for technology. You all rely on that. The other one I want to mention is Chad Powers, Facilities Management. He's actually going to speak tonight under public comment. We had a discussion. We had an interesting day today, talking about things that fail. When they fail, that's when we recognize where our vulnerabilities are, and we have them. Chad, I would say the same thing, 'cause I see you there. Same thing about your staff. I don't think you get it. We have these individuals that are up on the building today. They're looking at everything, and we don't have enough of them to do it. They've got to go to every building and look at equipment, and Chad will explain why that happened today. They're dedicated. That's what your government should be. That's the work they should do, and it's excellence. Proud of that. Commissioners, those of you that attended the ribbon cutting for the youth facility, what you see there is a labor of love. It's by the people that serve the county. So we got money, which is great, and we thank the state, especially Representative Whitwer for her work, but this was done by the staff. We're very lucky to have them. I listened to Judge Pollard express what the facility means to our youth and their future growth. She will tell you that this is phenomenal. This is what you want to do. This is what government is about. It's to serve the kids, and that's what they're doing, and now they'll be able to do that even better. Director Mulvaney has dedicated his all to the youth of this county. Last 2 years, I can't tell you how many discussions I've had with him about no staff. Are we going to get staff? Can we staff this expansion? He's working hard to do that, and he's made phenomenal steps along with the assistance of the board. That's excellence, again, in his daily work. It's what you should expect. It's what you're getting. Finally, I want to thank all of the employees. I'm going to keep coming back to the employees because employees are service. I know there are some of you that have communicated with me about applying for some vacant positions in neighboring governmental agencies. I've looked up the jobs. I've seen them. I know what they are. You're going to lose valuable people. We lose them all the time. We've lost many of them. I want them to stay. I believe all of you want them to stay. But these employees are balancing life decisions based on unknown outcomes. What the employees are doing for this county is valued more than I can convey. I think as a board, you would say the same. The dedication and losing any of you, it's a tragedy. And I don't say that lightly. Please know, employees, we're working for you because you continue to work for Eaton County and its residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Controller Selby. Yeah, it's when we are out meeting with the residents, we tell them just how talented our employees are here and how much they're valued, and we're just hoping that the public will hear that and deem it important. So, thank you. We're going to move on to commissioner comments, and before we go around the horseshoe here, Controller Selby brought up the ribbon cutting we had earlier today. That was a big event. That was a big event for us. And we have with us still here tonight, and I did not mention this to them, but I would like to invite Chad Powers, Jeremy Mulvaney, and Judge Pollard to come up to the podium. And you're pretty good at speaking off the cuff. So just kind of tell us your thought. Yeah, about this process, and
for a record meeting now, so.
and what this meant for you guys. So,
good evening. I'll go first, and you guys can clean up after I mess this up. But from a facilities management standpoint, when we started this, it was kind of an idea, just, hey, what if we try to go for this grant? And then all of a sudden, now what do? We got it, and we have a short amount of time to complete it. It was a lot of meetings. I know you mentioned, Chairman, at the ribbon cutting, a lot of meetings through the design phase and getting the building, you know, if we're going to go for it, as Judge Pollard was quoted, swing for the fences, right? So we had to make sure that it was what we needed to fit the needs of the facility. So my end of it was more the construction, procuring a contractor, and through the RFP process, interviewing and seeing it through the construction end of it. We had a great partner in Granger, and they've delivered. So now we have another building to maintain, and being that it's new, it shouldn't take a lot of maintenance for the first several years anyway. So I'll let the other two experts talk more about it. But
thank you, Chad.
Good evening, everybody. Wasn't expecting to come up here, so thank you for that, Chairman Mott. Kind of thought I fulfilled my speaking quota earlier today, so. No, I think to echo what Chad said, this really was just an idea at first, and when we realized that it was a reality and the state had granted us that money to build this,
it took a lot of planning to everything that we did, and kind of like what I talked about at the ribbon cutting ceremony, everything we did was with a therapeutic approach for the youth that we're going to serve. From how we laid out the space to the colors we used to trying to soften down the space and understand that it's a secure facility, but at the same time, we're there to rehabilitate youth and do everything that we can in the very short period of time that we have them to try and make it so they don't come back and can be productive members of society, don't re-enter the system later in life. And that's always been our goal. That's what we strive for. So for those that haven't seen the facility, I would encourage you to give me a call, come over, I'll give you a tour of it, try and explain our thinking, what we did, how we did it. But truly, everything, every approach that we did, we tried to be mindful, and that way we're being good stewards of the money and using our time wisely with these young people. So please, come over, take a look if you haven't. I'd love to give you a tour.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I suppose. I like to hear myself talk anyway. We actually did come over just to say thank you. That was our goal in coming over here tonight, to speak in front of this honorable board, to say thank you for your support. This was an enormous project and a huge undertaking to think of writing a grant and having to write an RFP to track down contractors, to come up with plans, to come up with everything down to what kind of door locks. And I'm joking about the door locks, but every decision, every carpet square, we did that in 2 years. Your staff did that in 2 years. The people in this county did that in 2 years. And I think it was Judge Cunningham who pointed out that wasn't because we had more time in our day. We still did our jobs on top of that. And we recognize the fact that none of that would have been possible without the support of this board. And you honoring us with the opportunity to be able to take these funds and run with them to build a facility we're extremely proud of, with services that we're extremely proud of, to give the kids in our communities the level of service they deserve, the types of services that will rehabilitate them, to make them active, safe, mentally healthy members of our community. These are our kids in our community, and they do deserve this from us. And this is one thing that county is able to provide to them, is when they do become justice involved, when they come in front of me, when they come in front of our referee, we're doing the best we can for them to bring them back into the communities so that they can live those successful lives. And I said it earlier, but hopefully they never have to see me ever again. That's the goal. So I just wanted to, and I think Mr. Mulvaney would agree, thank you for the opportunity to be able to do what we've been able to do. And I really do agree with Jeremy that I think our best years at the facility and with the juvenile court are in front of us. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you. Thank all of you very much. And I know there was quite a few others that were involved in this whole process. So I see Amy's here. I know she was involved, and a lot of the other departments and a lot of staff and a lot of hours. So thank you all that didn't get mentioned, but we know that there's a lot of people that were involved, and we want to thank you for that. So any other commissioners? Mr. Mulder.
I just wanted to piggyback on the invite. If you hadn't had the opportunity to go over there, do it, because you'll never, it's empty right now. There are no students. It won't be that way for long, and you won't be able to get into it like you can right now. So now's the time. It's just the nature of the facility. You know, they're secure and they don't have visitors regularly. So now's the time to go take a look at it.
Yep, you're correct. Jeannie Pearl, Commissioner Pearl
I
Wright.
wanted to say that by being able to do the expansion, we have the ability now to have an additional 14 of our youth stay here, receive services here in Eaton County, and not have to send them off-site. So it's the best for them when they can stay still connected to their parents, their siblings, or whatever is necessary for a proper support on the way back out. So I'm happy, and it's a lovely facility.
Good point. Anyone else? Commissioner Holmes.
Yeah, I would just speak to the staff. My kudos go out for the tax limitation information you try to get out there. The people I run across, the last that I run across, they're hearing that it's some kind of, we're not telling them it's a tax increase because of the ballot language. But I know on the website, I tell them, go there, the first thing that's there, it says it's an increase. So I tell people, get that information, choose what you're gonna vote based on that information. I think that's a big thing. And I tell you, where I've been at the meetings where the staff was there, they do an awesome job. So great job, guys.
Yep, good point, Commissioner. Yep, putting that information out there for the residents was critical, and they hit it out of the park, so thank you. Commissioner Lotzenheiser.
Yeah, I just want to thank the barnstorming crew of Jim Mott, Chairman Mott, and Prosecutor Lloyd and Sheriff Reich, and several of the judges that visited the Charlotte area, the Rotary Club, and made several other visits, and the rest of you that have continued to be ambassadors to your communities about this upcoming ballot. So, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Jim did talk too much, though. Saved Doug no time. Can you imagine that?
I did not plan it that way. Commissioner Rogers.
Okay. I just think it's just really important as county commissioners, when we attend the meetings in our area, that we let them know that we are, anyway, I hope you are supporting the millage. I've said it's not a want, it's a need. And if you would like to maintain the services that you're getting now, that we really need a yes vote on this. I think you should take a stand and let everybody know that you are supporting it and why you are supporting it. I know I'm not running for reelection, but that doesn't matter. I would have done it anyway, because I think you know me well enough to know that if there's a need, I'm going to be there. If it's a want, that's something else. But when it's a need, then we need to get behind it and support it.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. Anybody else?
Jim?
Yes, Commissioner Pearl-Wright.
This isn't like serious, but I got an email and it was from Resource Recovery. And I just want to let the public know if there's anybody watching that is interested, but it's a new event at Fitzgerald Park coming up on November 2nd before our next meeting. And it's called the Pumpkin Chunk. And so it's free for kids and there's going to be some prizes and,
I think it's free for adults too.
well, okay, I guess if the adults
I'm
wanna
chucking
chuck
pumpkins,
in.
I don't know.
Okay, it's a 1 o'clock on November 2nd, and you are to be gathering at the new baseball diamond, and then you also can roll your pumpkins down the sledding hill.
That'll be fun. Now, that's being put on by the parks, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
our Parks Department.
Yes.
So thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving on. Any unfinished business?
No,
None. Any old business?
no,
Any new business?
no.
All right, that brings us to our second limited public comment. If you'd like to address the board, please approach the podium.
Hello again. For those who don't know me, that are here in attendance or watching, I'm Chad Powers. I'm the facilities director here at the government complex for Eaton County. I wanted to follow up with what Controller Sobey mentioned earlier on some of our infrastructure needs, and today was a perfect example of some of the things that we need to address. It was pretty hectic this morning around 10 a.m. We had a fire alarm here at the courthouse. Everybody evacuated, and it turned out to be a faulty smoke alarm. We have several smoke alarms, several hundred of them here in the building, and they're outdated. We're going through and replacing them as we can, but it's a costly investment. Imagine, if we had to go through and do all of them, they all have to be programmed. They're all tied to technology, and we had one fail. It disrupted all of the business here at the courthouse. For about a half hour, 45 minutes, everybody evacuated the courts, from the courts to every other office. So we got that resolved, and about an hour later, we had a power line come down over at the youth facility. Construction crews had a mishap, and unfortunately, we knocked power out initially just to central dispatch, but when the crews from consumers came to do the repairs, we shut down the whole complex. So they had to shut it down on Stewart, or Packard, excuse me, and so the whole complex, every building was without power for about 2 hours. Fortunately, most of it was during lunch hour, so that was helpful, but nevertheless, that had we, and I talk about that, that was an unfortunate accident. Fortunately, nobody was injured or hurt. But our buildings are without 100% backup generator, or generator backup. Other than the jail, the youth facility, and central dispatch, those are the only 3 buildings we have that are 100% backup. If we would make the investment in some of the other buildings with generator backup, these disruptions would be minimized. The generator kicks on just like your Generac at home if you have one, and you continue to work through the problems. A backup generator for this building is a costly investment. It's in the capital improvement plan, but obviously we need more revenue in order to complete some of these deferred maintenance and infrastructure needs. I do want to mention too that all of this stuff is tied directly to technology in technology services department. When things go down like today, an unexpected power outage, as Connie mentioned, all of our maintenance staff is scrambling to make sure equipment is up and running when it comes back up, and the technology that supports our equipment is also online, so we can continue business as usual. That takes time, and it takes labor hours. Throughout the buildings, from technology staff and as well as mine, we're scrambling to make sure everything comes back up and we can continue. And I'm confident that we will find glitches and stuff that's happened in the weeks to come that we haven't discovered yet. So I just wanted to kind of address some of those things and let the people know that how important some of these infrastructure needs are that we have deferred here at the courthouse and at the county complex, that with some long-term investments could minimize some of the disruptions. And as you can imagine, I don't know how many hundred people are here on this complex, but they were all down for a couple hours today. That costs money. So thank you, and that's all I had.
Thank you, Chad.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm William Steele. I'm on behalf of the City Council and the City of Eaton Rapids. I want to thank you for the recognition that you bestowed on our fire department for the 150 years of service for the City of Eaton Rapids. That's one thing, so thanks a lot. The other thing is during the tax limitation proposal meetings that a lot of the staff attended in different cities and villages and townships, that was well received. It accomplished a couple of things. One, it got those individuals and those governmental agencies familiar with some of the faces that work here for them that they don't see on a normal basis. So you are ambassadors for the county. No matter where you go, everybody's going to know that this is a commissioner, or this is a so-and-so. So you're always wearing that ambassador coat, just like I am. But I want to tell you that I went on the website and checked for the tax limitation, find out how much it cost me, how much it's going to add to my tax bill for the year. So there's some things that you supply that people don't realize in the background. I'm of the opinion that you don't kick the can down the road anymore, because what I found is that the next group of administrators, that can gets awful heavy. And I think that's what you're faced with right now. That can is awful heavy, and through no fault of your own, but they make tough decisions because we volunteered to take this leadership role. So I make those same kind of hard decisions for the City of Eaton Rapids in my small part, just like you have to do with your larger part. And we rely on a lot of the services from the county. 24/7, just like Controller Sobey mentioned. That's 24/7 that we expect as a resident. When I call 911, there's going to be somebody there. So that support is sometimes overlooked. It's not a 9-to-5 operation. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Doug Lloyd, and I am your Eaton County Prosecutor. You know, I expected that I wouldn't really hear a lot tonight about the ballot proposal, and pleasantly surprised that you mentioned it, because I too wanted to spend a couple minutes. This is our last meeting. I speak not only to you, because the comments I have for you tonight I believe are very important, but obviously you may or may not realize it, but there are actually a lot of people who check into this. A lot of our employees check in and watch this. And so, you know, they watch and see what you do, the 15 representatives who are, in a sense, you know, their bosses. Several months ago, all of you who are sitting here passed unanimously bipartisanship, a word that, to be honest, I do not like, because you can have one person from the other side vote for it and all of a sudden it becomes bipartisan. But here, all of you who sit here right now voted on a resolution to strongly support this ballot proposal. And Sheriff Reich, who sits here tonight, myself, Chairman Mott, we took that to heart. We took that to heart, that by you supporting and passing that resolution, that meant that you wanted this ballot proposal to pass. And so for the last several months, Chairman Mott, myself, the sheriff, the judges, we have gone to every township, village, city, town hall, rotary, church, and other meetings to tell anyone and everyone we can why this tax ballot proposal is so important. During this time, Controller Sobey, Ben, Logan, Claudine, and Melissa have gone out as well. And we've worked as a team. We always make it very clear that Controller Sobey and her staff are staff. They are employees of the county, and they are there to give facts. And they do a damn good job. They lay out the questions. Yeah, Barb, you were there with me in Hamlin Township. You saw Controller Sobey get up there. You can hear from a few people that she has no problem correcting me if I get out of my wheelhouse. Yes, you can clap for her for that. But they've done a great job of actually presenting the facts, you know, of what it means if the ballot proposal does not pass, what it means if the ballot proposal does pass. And then the sheriff, myself, and Chairman Mott stand up, because we are elected officials, just like all of you who sit here in front of me, and tell them we have an ability that staff does not. We can tell you whether we support it or not. Some of you I have sat with and, you know, stood with, Commissioner Barnes, we've stood right next to each other to talk about how we support things. And the meetings aren't always pleasant in the beginning. They can be rough. I believe that in reality, that when we leave those meetings most times, that we have informed and educated our voters as to why this tax ballot proposal is so important. In reality, we believed in it so much that Chairman Mott and myself actually created a PAC, Prosperous Eaton County. We actually went out and spoke to unions and businesses and individuals. And they believed in it so much and they supported it so much that they actually donated to it. allowing us to be able to do mailers to our constituents and to be able to do advertising as to why this ballot proposal is so necessary. And I'm glad that you brought up, and I'm glad that Eaton Rapids brought up the websites, because Eaton County and the staff of Controller Sobey did a wonderful job. And if you haven't been to it, I don't know why, as a commissioner, because you should, but on the tax limitation proposal and what's all there. And in reality, Prosperous Eaton County created our own website as well, Vote Yes Eaton, and .com, to explain why we supported it as well. But on both those websites is a tax mill calculator. And I would hope as commissioners that you are out talking to your constituents and showing them how easy it is to go to these websites, whether it be the one we created or the county itself, and look and see what it's going to cost. On average, it's $18 a month for the average people across Eaton County. But for $18 a month, what you're doing is guaranteeing that Sheriff Reich in his office and my office and the courts, which are 65% of the budget and over half the employees, are going to make sure that you have protection 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's what you're guaranteeing your constituents, is that type of protection. But you should also be asking them, if $18 isn't important enough, then what does it mean to you to not be protected? Because, see, I've made it very clear when I'm out that you should be asking, if there is no road patrol, if or when police will actually show up. Because if it's not a homicide, an armed robbery, or some form of assault case taking place, there's a good chance that no one is going to come to actually be there for you. That's a guarantee you get with the sheriff if this ballot proposal passes. So for me, I wanted to say a couple additional things. I appreciate everyone who has stood with me at meetings, in your townships, in your villages. But I think it's very important that you are being vocal. Our citizens need to know what they're going to lose. They need to understand that the police may not show up. They may understand that that lost dog that they see across the street that they post on Facebook about, animal control is not going to be there to help. They need to understand that if this ballot proposal does not pass, that there's a good chance when they need to come do business here at the courthouse doors may be closed. Those are the realities. And if you haven't heard them, then you haven't listened to Controller Sobey for the last several months tell you what's going to occur. Absentee ballots went out September 26th, September 27th. Commissioner Barnes voted, I think you voted like September 25th. I'm still trying to question how you got that ballot early, but he got it. October 26th starts the 9 days of early voting. All of you have social media. All of you have the ability to be loud and proud. A lot of you post on about a lot of different things, whether it's about your future campaigns, the things that are important to you, or at community events. Well, there's 400 employees here who care about their jobs. And as I've told businesses and community leaders, I'll put those 400 employees up against any business out there. every one of you better be proud about the employees here. They are the best public servants that you as county commissioners could ask for because they make you proud every day. But as public servants, they didn't volunteer to do the job, and they need help. But you are the people who are going to decide whether they get help or not. And so I hope that you can be as loud as Sheriff Reich and myself and Chairman Mott have been for these last months, during these last 3 weeks of the campaign. I call it a campaign. It's been a campaign for us. This ballot proposal has been my campaign. I hope it's been yours, because it's going to affect the employees who are here and the constituents that we represent. And between all 15 of you, you represent all 110,000 people in this county. I represent all 110,000 people of this county, and I want them protected and safe. And with this ballot proposal passing, I am confident from what Controller Sobey and her staff says that y'all can right this ship and we can be proud of our county moving forward. So I would ask for your help during these last few weeks to make sure that you are loud and you are proud and you are telling all of your constituents that we need to vote yes on this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, we'll move on. And that brings us to adjournment till next month.